What is going on, everyone? It's Andy. It's Thursday. We got a full slate of NHL games. And I got to be honest with you for a second. I'm kind of pulling a Boston Bruins right now. You know, the playoffs are right there. I had a winning year already. It was a great year, and I'm just looking forward to I'm going through some late season. Just get me over there. I want to see who's going to play who and show me how the seats so I can start calculating how I want to go with my bracket and all that stuff. And I'm losing to the Blackhawks out here, just like the Bruins did the other day. But we're going to try to give you a couple picks here to straighten that out and get on the right path right before playoffs. There's only about, a dozen or so games left before we get there. We're only a month away. I know you're looking forward to it. I know I'm looking forward to it. I'm at a point where I don't even know if I want the Islanders to make it. You know, you ever get that where your team is in a drifter's territory? Oh, congrats. Let's get in and get waxed by the Bruins. So I have to go through that little contemplation every single day. Anyway, looking at these Thursday bets, we got a lot to choose from, but I want to kind of stick to a few that I like and focus on those. I'm going to be looking at the standings and kind of what we've been doing lately, teams who desperately need points. Are they going to win? No, not always. Sometimes you can get screwed. Did you see 2 nights ago? Did you see some of those games? The Blackhawks beat the Bruins. The Canadiens, who just let up 8 goals the night before, had to travel across the border and play arrested Pittsburgh, who were coming off a nice win. They went down 2-0 and somehow beat the Penguins. Arizona beat Calgary. It was an infestation. It's hard to know. It's hard to see. So I'm going to still utilize that same strategy. Give me the teams who really need the points. Give me the teams who are going to show up with a playoff level of effort and desperation. And if I get screwed, so be it. But remember, we nullify how bad we're getting screwed by utilizing what? Those Caesars same game parlays. Because we don't have to invest a ton in a big favorite who needs to make the playoffs and needs a win. Wink, wink. Can you see one of those coming? On Caesars Sportsbook, I told you about this promotion. Your first bet, if you're a new user over there, is risk-free up to $1,500. So you make a $1,500 bet. If you're wrong, it's all right. You got another $1,500 in there waiting for you to bet on something else. You just got to be a new user over 21, and you got to be located in a state where sports betting is permitted. And if you got a problem, you tick in the middle of the night like one of those clickers from The Last of Us, then you should call 1-800-GAMBLER. But you don't have to tell us. You can call 1-800-GAMBLER. Like, oh, I never called 1-800-GAMBLER. But if you got a problem, call them. And you can tell us. So some of those teams who desperately need points, who? I'm looking at that Western Conference wildcard. You think that the Seattle Kraken want to be in that wild card when they've been up in that top 3 in the division? You think they want to be there? No, they don't. Who are they going to play tonight? Are they going to play somebody who's beatable? Oh, the San Jose Sharks. And I'm going to take the Kraken. I'm going to take the Kraken coming off a bad loss to Dallas, but they had Martin Jones in net, which means we'll be getting Grubauer. They need this win, and I do not believe that San Jose, I do not see them losing in San Jose. And because the Kraken have not been playing particularly well lately, pretty much since the All-Star break, we're getting a decent price on them. Like, if you think about it, they're playing one of the bottom teams in the league. The Kraken all year have been a pretty good team. They desperately need points, and we're getting a pretty fair price. Give me the Seattle Kraken. I'm not playing around here. And you know how I told you I'm kind of in Boston Bruins mode? Well, you know who else is in Boston Bruins mode? The Boston Bruins. What do they have to play for? We already see that they're rolling back minutes of some of their older players. They're doing the whole rest versus rust, and I get it. You want to try to make sure that you're maximizing your chances in the playoffs. But they got so little to play for. You think about this veteran lineup going out there to Winnipeg. I mean, where's the motivation at? The dual nostril sniff would say take Winnipeg to win, but I do feel more comfortable with a single nostril sniff, which means take them at +1.5. I get it. You don't want to, blah, 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 blah. But this is a sniff. I mean, I'm telling you to bet against the Boston Bruins, which is no easy feat. And if you don't want to do that, I completely understand. Think about how many times that would have screwed you if you had done that this year. So let me tell you about another team that I've been sneakily cashing on lately. It's been one team in this little quick stretch here that's been helping me out. The Nashville Predators have been slithering unders for me left and right, including the other night against the Red Wings. You show me an opponent that they're playing, if it's one of those under-type teams, this team I'm actually less excited about because there's always a chance a bottom-dwelling team can get beat down, especially the Blackhawks just won the Stanley Cup. They just beat the Boston Bruins. You think they're looking forward to going to Nashville and playing the Predators, who've been playing the most boring hockey you've ever seen. Boring hockey to me is fantastic. You should love boring hockey because it's predictable, because on this channel, this is a big under channel. We're all about unders here. We think suckers take overs. But the Nashville Predators, I would like to get them at 6.5, which means you're going to have to pay just a little extra, just a little bit extra. It's not a crazy one. And you want to know what you can add to that? You want the classic? You can add an Artemi Panarin point. But I want to use that Artemi Panarin point to roll over to the next series of bets, which is the New York Rangers. They just played the Pittsburgh Penguins last weekend. Rangers been playing awful on the road. They came home. They played better like we predict. We took the Rangers to win with the Artemi Panarin point in the plus money same game Caesars parlay a couple days back. But, the Capitals almost came back. The Rangers played better than they were playing. They jumbled up those lines a little bit. And that's actually where my next bet's going to come in. I want to take Mika Zibanejad to register a point. Him and that top line, they seem to have good chemistry. He scored twice in that game, and I'm going to look for him to continue. The price we're getting on him, do you remember, peak Mika Zibanejad over half of a point prop price? It was like 190, 200. He was almost up there with Panarin. And I get it. He gets a little less power play time, but he still gets power play time, still rips that. You could even take the over 2.5 shots on goal. With that line that he's on, he's the finisher, and he has a couple guys setting him up. Wouldn't be disappointed if you also wanted to take Tarasenko over a point. I see a couple Rangers getting on the board in this one. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same final that we saw the other night, like 4-3. With maybe an empty netter, 5-3, maybe a 3-2. Shesterkin's probably going to be playing this one. He didn't play the last one against Pittsburgh. But what I like in this one are points from members of that line. Whether you want to do Panarin, which we're combining with the under 6.5 in the Nashville game, or if you want to take Zibanejad to register a point, or even Tarasenko because he's got the best price of the three. I'm good with all of those. Are you? I don't know. I can't read your mind. I know some of you are. And how's that, by the way? If you're a Ranger fan out there and you've always had you always really, I'm not going to watch some Islander fan because I know I saw those Ryan Strome bets because he hates the Rangers. But no. When the Rangers are the right bet, you will always hear me say take the New York Rangers. The other night, New York Rangers came out of my mouth with Artemi Panarin. And if you've ever read my stuff on Twitter, I'm way more critical of the New York Islanders. So how about we go on to that next bet, right? We just talked about the Caesars same game parlay from the other night. How about we give you one tonight? And let's use it for the same reason we've used it before. So we don't have to waste money on teams who are massive favorites. I'm betting on teams who are weaseled in wild card spots or fighting for wild card spots. And can they screw you? Sure, maybe once in a while, but I will repeatedly take the teams who are going to have playoff level desperation because their season's on the line. And Florida is one of those teams. They've had a couple days to rest. We should be getting Bobrovsky. They're playing an incredibly beatable opponent. And I know you're about to say, oh yeah, they just played an incredibly beatable opponent in Blackhawks. And they almost lost that one. Yeah, well, did they? No, they didn't. They ended up winning in overtime, and a bunch of those guys had points. So I'm going to take the Florida Panthers, and who am I going to combine it with? You got to be strategic with your point prop sniffs, okay? Looking at the depth charts, looking at the line combos, Carter Verhaeghe bumped up to that top power play. He's got a great line mates. He's their leading goal scorer on the year. Fantastic guy to include in a same gamer using the Florida Panthers. When you look at the Montreal Canadiens, even in that weird comeback beating win against Pittsburgh, they still conceded, 4 goals? 5? And then the day before that, 8? So they are conceding chances, and if you're doing that, I really like Carter Verhaeghe. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. I think I need a little bit of luck these days. Not really. But make sure you're subscribed to the OddsShopper channel here. Come to the Instagram channel where I got that Sniff Central running on there, and every day I'm posting some stuff. Yesterday I was talking about how Evan Rodriguez was a great play for over half of a point, and you're probably saying, well, he didn't get half of a point. It's not a good... No. It was a great play. It was a bad result. Why is that? Because if you check the depth charts, they stacked the top line. There was the Lehkonen injury. Anytime there's a big injury, ladies and gents, check the line combos because you can get a trickle-down effect. You had Evan Rodriguez playing with McKinnon and Rantanen. He found himself have a ton of chances. Wasn't able to bury them, just like anybody else in that game. It was a 1-1 game, but it was the right idea. That's what you do when you get somebody who's priced as a second or third liner to register a point, and then he's getting that promotion to the first line, but he's still priced as a second or third liner, you got to take that. That's one of the things you do. If you look at the Boston Bruins, for example, if you were to do one of those Caesar same game parlays like we were doing the other night with the Bruins when we screwed all those guys on the in the perfect storm over in Hyannis, if you're to include Charlie McAvoy, that's a higher minus than Dmitry Orlov. That's ridiculous. Dmitry Orlov is on their top power play, and he has the highest likelihood of registering a point ever since that power play promotion. So until the lines catch up with that and reflect that, then you got to take advantage of stuff like that. And I got news for you. If Rodriguez is staying on that line tonight, I'll bet him again tonight. So if you wanted that, no, I don't want you to bet that one. I don't want you to bet that one because I'm going to show you what it's like to have faith in a sniff, even if it doesn't show up right away. Sometimes you got to knock twice before someone answers the door. That's completely made up. I will talk to you tomorrow.